So welcome to day 9 of your challenge. The end is in sight, so we're going to get ourselves started today. I've got my timer here. We're going to use our curtsy lunge to start with, so up onto our mat. So we'll get ourselves started. So we start at one end, we're going to take those hands onto our pelvis. This time I want you to try and come down quite low into that curtsy. So it's not necessarily about speed, it's about the precision of that drop and lift. Think about that pelvis line, think about that spine. Use those bum muscles to drive yourself back up. Try and keep yourself nice and tall. Drop in as low as you can manage. Controlling that position. Again, nice regular breathing pattern. Up and down. Let yourself drop down low into that position. Good. 10-second break. We're going to stay up. Take those legs a little bit wider. We're going to take our arms out in front. We're going to go down into our squat position with our shoulder lift. So we come down low, we lift and back. So allow those shoulders to open back. Still think of that shoulder blade position. And down. Good. I'm quite out of breath already. I spent today shoveling snow. But we're going to power through this. Good. So try and keep the pace you started with. If you went off quite fast, keep going at that pace. If you did go a little bit slow and don't feel puffed, probably pick your pace up a little bit. Good, 10-second break. We're going to stay up onto our feet. We're going to do a little bit single leg squat. So hands back onto those hips. From here, we're going to lift each side. So we're just doing a little drop through those knees. Again, spine nice and tall. We want to think about that knee staying in line. So it should be dropping just above that second toe. And again, thinking a little bit of control. We don't necessarily need to be down to the floor with our dip, but we're thinking about that precision, keeping that upper body nice and tall. Shoulder blades back and down, just allowing ourselves a little bit of balance challenge, a little bit of single leg. Good. We're going to come down onto the mat. We're going to come up into a bridge hold, but this time we're going to do a single leg lift from here. So hands at your side. We're going to take that leg to tabletop. We're going to lift and lower. So we're not so much concentrating on that tuck in of the tailbone. We're just doing our lift and lower into that plank position. Try and keep that leg nice and still. Make sure that pelvis doesn't drop, especially in the leg that's bent. You want to keep that pelvis pointing to the ceiling. You want to keep that height nice and even. We don't want to feel those shoulders trying to take themselves through the floor, and we don't want to be gripping with these fingers. Up and down. Keep going. Remember, modify if you need. If you're getting a bit sort of tight into your hamstring, you might want to come down just to a normal bridge. You might want to just practice a single leg position with your belly staying down. Pick a level that suits you as long as we keep going. And onto that other side. Lift and lower. Pelvis nice and straight. Working through those bum muscles to drive you up and down. If you feel you need to make any little adjustments into your position, please do. Otherwise, keep on moving. Lift and lower. That leg that's up stays nice and still. And again, just nice, regular breathing in and out. Keeping yourself going at that pace that you've picked. Again, modify if you need. and down. Good, 10 seconds breather here. We're going to keep these legs bent into that position. We're going to come up into our roll-ups. So we're going to have our arms above our head. We're going to roll ourselves up, slowly take ourselves down, and again. And think of that breathing a little bit if you want. So we want to breathe out as we roll up. We want to keep those feet nice and controlled onto the floor. Again, modify this exercise if you need. You might just want to practice some gentle roll downs just to halfway, but modify as you feel you need to do, as long as we're doing some version of the exercise. Up and down. Good, 10 seconds breather. We're going to stay into this position here. Maybe walk your feet out tiny little bit further. We're nice and tall. We're going to come forward, James Bond hands. We're going to drop halfway. We're going to go to the left and we're going to pulse. Keeping yourself pulsing there. Really make sure you've dropped halfway. If you feel this is really nice and easy, drop a little bit further. So it's all about control. We want these knees nice and straight, pointing to the ceiling. They shouldn't be trying to compensate for our left shift here. Holding ourselves into this oblique. Keep yourself going. Again, if it feels as if it's getting a bit easy, lower yourself that little bit further into that roll down. Keep that arms pulsing to the left. Keep yourself going into this position. Keep pulsing nice and strong. Nice and strong. Bring yourself back up. We've got our 10-second breather. We're obviously going to do our midway pulses to the other side. So up nice and tall. We're going to drop halfway, take those hands to the right. And again, we're going to pulse here. Now, same as the other side, really make sure you've gone to your halfway point. If you're still somewhere up here, you want to drop yourself further back. If you're finding it absolutely excruciating to hold this position, you might want to lift yourself a little bit up, just in case you've gone a bit too far back. If it feels really easy, take yourself further back. Toes nice and flat onto the ground, knees pointing up to the ceiling. Holding yourself and pulsing those arms. Still thinking about those shoulder positions and that nice regular breathing. Keeping ourselves going here, having that break. We're going to take ourselves into our reverse plank next. So feet nice and flat. Again, position those hands facing back or down towards your feet. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So taking ourselves up to a good height into that reverse plank. Again, squeeze through those bum muscles. Lots of glute work in this little session. Up and down. If you're struggling a little bit with this, maybe just do 5 in a row and have a break for a few seconds and lift back up again. But try and keep yourself going. Up and down. Up and down. Good. Our next move, we're going to go back into a roll-up position with straight legs. So we're going to take those legs out nice and long. We're going to take ourselves back onto the mat and we're going to bring ourselves up to a halfway hold and down. So taking ourselves halfway, back down. Keep those legs nice and long. Drive forward with those shoulders and hands to pull yourself halfway and down. And again, if you're wanting to modify, you might want to drop halfway and lift. But the idea being, we're doing one position with those legs nice and straight. So take yourself to the halfway point in whichever modification you feel able to do. Lift, lower, just to that halfway and down. So just halfway and down. Good. That's your time up. That's challenge day 9 completed. So I'll see you for day 10, which is going to be fun.